Have you ever walked past your ZZ plant tucked in a corner, thriving quietly and thought, it's just a nice plant? Nothing more, nothing less. But what if I told you that this unassuming plant might be playing a much bigger role in your home than you ever imagined? You see, in the world of energy and intentional living, every object in your space has a voice. And some, like the ZZ plant, speak in whispers. Whispers that affect how grounded you feel, how clear your thoughts are, and yes, even how smoothly money flows into and through your life. This isn't about superstition, it's about awareness. Because here's the truth most people never hear. When placed in the right location, the ZZ plant becomes more than decor. It becomes a quiet partner in stability. But placed wrong, it doesn't just wilt. It absorbs stagnant energy, amplifies stress, and may even block the very abundance you've been trying to invite. That's what today's video is about: two specific spots in your home where this plant doesn't just sit, it activates. Where it doesn't just grow, it helps you grow. One of these spots grounds your finances like roots in rich soil. The other, it opens a door for opportunity to walk in without force, without hustle, just a gentle current moving in your favor. You don't need to move furniture. You don't need to spend money. You just need to know where to place what's already growing in your space. So before you water your plant next time, pause for a moment, because how you position it may be quietly shaping what flows into your life or what keeps slipping away. And in a world full of noise, sometimes the quietest things hold the most power. Let's begin. Don't treat it like decor, it's holding your energy. It sits quietly in your home on a shelf, in a corner, maybe near a window. Glossy green leaves, thick stems, low maintenance. You water it when you remember. Maybe dust it once in a while. It looks nice. And that's usually where the story ends. But what if it doesn't end there? What if this plant, your ZZ plant, isn't just decoration? What if it's doing something quietly, constantly, just beneath your awareness? Most people treat the ZZ plant like background, a filler, something to make a room look complete. But the truth is, this plant is not passive, it's alive. And anything that's alive is participating in your home's energy, whether you realize it or not. Think about it. If a person sat in your house every day, never speaking but always listening, wouldn't their presence affect the space? Wouldn't it shift how you feel, even if you couldn't explain why? That's what your ZZ plant is doing. It's not just growing, it's holding stillness, holding focus, holding the energy you've either poured into your space or neglected. And when you treat it like decor, you miss the entire conversation it's trying to have with you. This isn't about magic. It's not about belief systems or rituals. It's about presence, about tuning into what's already there. The ZZ plant isn't loud, it doesn't demand, but it mirrors. If the energy around it is clear, focused, and alive, it thrives. But if the energy is cluttered, anxious, chaotic, it begins to dull, even if the soil is perfect. You'll see it in the color of the leaves, in how slowly it grows, in how it seems to pause for weeks at a time. Now pause with that idea, because here's where it gets personal. We often think that money problems, motivation dips, or constant stress come from outside us: timing, people, market conditions. But what if your home was reflecting something deeper? What if one of the reasons you feel stuck is because the space you live in is stuck too? The ZZ plant doesn't fix everything, but it tells the truth. It reflects the slow, steady kind of energy that builds real wealth, not the flashy, fast-burning kind. Its thick leaves store water the way smart decisions store savings. Its slow growth matches the kind of life where progress feels grounded, not rushed. It's not about getting rich quick. It's about not leaking what you already have. And this is why placement matters. Because just like people, plants need the right environment to do their job. You wouldn't expect a mentor to guide you if you shoved them in a dark closet. The same goes for your ZZ plant. When you push it into forgotten corners, ignore it for weeks, or squeeze it between clutter and cables, it can't support you. Not because it's mad, but because energy can't flow through chaos. But when you recognize it, not just water it, but see it, something shifts. When you place it with care, Give it light, give it space, choose a pot made of natural material, it begins to respond. Not just by looking better, but by influencing the entire room. The atmosphere settles. Thoughts feel clearer. You breathe deeper without trying. This isn't a theory. It's something people feel. A woman once told me she moved her ZZ plant from under a shelf to a place where she could actually see it next to her reading chair, near a window. Within a week, her evenings felt calmer. Her screen time dropped. She found herself thinking more intentionally about her budget, her calendar, her choices. She didn't change her lifestyle. She changed the energy anchor in her room. You see, when we stop treating living things like objects, they start showing us something. They reflect how we treat ourselves. If you ignore a part of your home, chances are you're ignoring a part of yourself too. Maybe it's the part that wants to slow down, or make smarter decisions, or finally feel financially steady, not just afloat. So here's a quiet truth: your ZZ plant is holding your energy. Right now, the question is, what kind of energy is it holding? Is it thriving on clarity, light, and space? Or is it absorbing the leftovers of overwhelm, clutter, and emotional noise? And if it's the second, maybe it's time to shift that. You don't need to be an expert. You don't need crystals or charts or years of training. You just need awareness, a moment of recognition, a small decision to treat something simple, something green, alive, and patient as more than filler. Because sometimes, the most powerful shifts don't come from doing more. They come from seeing what's already here and choosing to treat it with the same respect you wish to feel in your own life. So before we go any further in this video, take one more look at your ZZ plant. Not as an object, but as a partner, a mirror, a gentle presence that's been waiting for you to notice it all along. In the next section, we'll explore exactly where to place it, so it doesn't just survive in your home, it becomes an anchor for calm, steady, abundant energy. Let's move forward with intention. Golden spot 1, where money feels safe to stay. There's a corner in your home that you might walk past every single day without thinking twice. It looks ordinary. It might hold a lamp, maybe a chair, a stack of unopened mail. It doesn't call attention to itself. And yet, this quiet corner could be the one place in your entire home where money feels safe enough to stay. Not just arrive, not just appear in short bursts, but stay, grow, settle, and become part of your long-term reality. And most people never activate it. In energy-focused living, we talk a lot about flow, about movement, about keeping things open and vibrant. But stability is often overlooked. Wealth doesn't just need movement. It needs an anchor. It needs a place in your home and in your life where it knows it won't be pushed out the moment something gets tight, stressful, or uncertain. That anchor, for many homes, is the southeast corner. Now, you don't need a compass, a crystal grid, or a deep dive into Eastern philosophy to understand this. All you need to know is this: the southeast corner of your space, whether it's your home, your office, or even just a room you spend a lot of time in, has long been seen as the energetic root system for long-term abundance. It's where the energy of wealth settles into the soil and starts to grow from within. But here's the truth: most people never notice this corner. Or, worse, they fill it with clutter, bills, broken furniture, dusty boxes, things that subconsciously say, "I'll deal with this later." But money doesn't like to wait. It needs a place that feels clear, open, calm. It needs the same conditions a plant needs to grow: light, space, care, and consistency. That's why placing your ZZ plant in this southeast zone is so powerful. Because the plant itself mirrors the very kind of wealth we want more of: slow, steady, reliable. It doesn't shoot up overnight. It doesn't demand attention. It simply grows, rooted, grounded, quietly doing its job. And when you pair the plant's energy with the wealth corner's energy, something beautiful happens. It's like planting a tree in the perfect patch of soil, with just the right amount of sun, at exactly the right season. It doesn't just grow. It thrives. And more importantly, you thrive with it. Let's get practical for a moment. To find your southeast corner, all you need is your phone. Stand in the center of your home or room. Open your compass app. Slowly rotate. The direction between 112.5 degrees and 157.5 degrees is your southeast. Mark that wall, that corner, or that section. That's your wealth zone. Once you find it, treat it with intention. Clear away old piles. Dust the surfaces. Bring in natural materials: ceramic, wood, clay. These support the ZZ plant's energy and the corner's energy. Avoid plastic pots or metal containers here. The idea is to mirror nature, grounded, real, alive. Your ZZ plant doesn't need to be huge, but it should be healthy. Avoid placing a struggling plant here, it sends mixed signals. Think of this spot as a conversation you're telling the universe. This is where I want my wealth to feel safe. This is where I'll tend to it. Because here's what most people don't realize: wealth energy isn't about chasing. It's about making space. And when the space is clear, energy starts to settle. You start to feel more focused, more stable, more in control of your finances. Not necessarily because you earned more, but because the environment around you stopped scattering your clarity. One woman placed her ZZ plant in her southeast corner after years of feeling like money came and went without warning. Within weeks, she didn't win the lottery. But she did start budgeting differently. Her impulse purchases dropped. Her savings account stopped dipping every month. It wasn't magic, it was alignment. A small shift outside created a bigger shift inside. There's something deeply empowering about that. Not relying on big dramatic solutions, but on small, mindful choices. You don't have to redesign your home. You just have to choose one space and give it meaning. Because money, like people, stays where it feels welcomed. Not just needed, not just used, but respected. When your ZZ plant sits in this golden spot, thriving in light, free from clutter, rooted in a real pot, it begins to do what plants do best: grow. And the energy around it does too. So the next time you stand in your living room, or walk past that overlooked corner, ask yourself, is this a space where money would want to stay? Does it feel like it could hold wealth without pushing it away? If not, you have the power to change that. Not with force, but with attention, with placement, with presence. Let your ZZ plant be the symbol. Let this southeast spot be the soil. And let the act of placing it there be your way of saying, I'm ready not just for more, but for something that lasts. In the next section, we'll talk about the second golden spot. It's not where money stays, it's where opportunity finds its way in. If this first spot is about roots, the next is about movement. And the placement there can shift the energy of your entire entrance and everything it invites in. Let's keep going. Golden spot 2, where opportunity walks in. If money needs a place to stay, then opportunity needs a way to walk in. And most homes, without realizing it, block that path. Not with intention, but with clutter, with distraction, with noise, and sometimes, simply with forgetfulness. Because while we're busy trying to manifest breakthroughs, chances are the front door hasn't been told it's invited to participate. But here's something simple and powerful: the energy of new beginnings. Supportive people, helpful timing, it often enters the same way your guests do, through your front door. And there's one specific place, right there at the entrance, where energy either flows in and uplifts your life or gets stuck before it ever reaches you. We call it the green dragon position. But you don't need to remember the name. You just need to know where it is and why it matters. Stand inside your home, facing your main door. Your left-hand side, that's the spot. It may hold a shoe rack, a coat hook, a forgotten plant, or maybe nothing at all. But that space, that's where opportunity hesitates or moves with ease. It's the energetic welcome mat for things you didn't expect, but always hoped for. And when you place a ZZ plant there, you're doing something subtle but powerful. You're not begging for luck. You're building a structure where luck knows where to go when it arrives. Why a ZZ plant? Because it holds upward, active, thriving energy. It's not loud, but it's strong. And that's exactly what the green dragon side needs: a living partner that doesn't block the flow, but channels it. Think of it this way: if opportunity is a breeze, the ZZ plant is the tree that catches it. Not to stop it, but to dance with it, redirect it, and soften it into your space, without turbulence, without chaos, just a calm yes. Now let's talk energy. Your front door is more than an entry point. It's the mouth of your home, where energy feeds in, where rhythm begins. If that energy is jagged, stagnant, or cluttered, your days might feel the same: rushed, foggy, resistant. But when that space is clear, intentional, and alive, life starts to move. The right email shows up. The call you've been waiting for comes. Someone who used to be closed off opens. These aren't coincidences. They're shifts. The kind that happen when your environment stops arguing with your intentions. But to let that happen, you have to make room. Not just physically, but energetically. That means no piles of shoes blocking the plant, no trash bins beside it, no heavy furniture pushing it into shadow. Your ZZ plant needs to stand with confidence, but not dominance, respectful, grounded, present. Choose a medium-sized one for this spot. Too small, and the energy is weak. Too big, and it overwhelms the space. Let it be like a good handshake, firm, but warm. And use a pot made from something real: ceramic, terracotta, clay. These speak the same language as the energy you're inviting. Optional, but beautiful. Place 3 coins tied with a red ribbon inside the pot, or a small amethyst hidden in the soil. Not for show, but as a private signal. A quiet yes to abundance. Because wealth energy doesn't respond to demand. It responds to readiness, stillness, space. Let's take a moment and reflect. How do you feel when you enter your home? Do you exhale or brace? Does your mind soften or stay alert? These small signals matter. They set the tone not just for your space, but for how opportunity recognizes your home. If your entrance feels tight, uninviting, or dull, it's not just decor that's missing. It's alignment. The kind that lets new things find you without force. A man once shared with me that after placing his ZZ plant in this position, someone from his past, someone he'd long given up on, reached out with an offer that changed his year. Another woman said that for the first time in months, she began receiving help without asking. Not because the plant worked magic, but because it marked a shift in her presence. In the way her space said, "I'm open, I'm clear, I'm ready." And you don't have to wait for a big sign. You'll feel it in smaller ways first. A smoother morning, a lighter conversation, less tension at the door, more synchronicity throughout the day. This is what happens when energy is allowed to move, not pushed, not forced, just guided. Your ZZ plant isn't a fix-all, it's a quiet assistant. A reminder that movement and opportunity are not events, they're patterns. And when you create the right opening, the pattern shifts. Life softens, doors open, people return, support shows up. So look again at that left side of your door. Is it open? Is it clear? Could someone or something walk through and feel welcomed? If not, you know what to do. Not with urgency, but with care. You're not decorating, you're preparing. You're saying to the world, I know where the door is, and I've left it open. In our next section, we'll explore the most common mistakes people make when placing their ZZ plants, and how those small missteps can quietly block the very energy they're trying to welcome in. Because placement, just like intention, is everything. Let's continue. 3 mistakes that slowly leak your luck. Sometimes, it's not what you do right that determines your results, it's the one small thing you didn't know you were doing wrong. You can water the plant. You can set your intentions. You can even place it in the wealth corner or near your front door. But if you've made one of these 3 mistakes even without realizing it, you may be quietly undoing everything you're trying to create. These mistakes don't scream. They don't announce themselves with loud consequences. Instead, they work quietly, like a slow leak in a sealed container. You don't see the loss until one day. You wonder why things feel heavier, why clarity feels distant, why progress feels like it keeps slipping through your fingers. Let's go straight in. Mistake number 1, placing your ZZ plant in the bathroom or under the staircase. On the surface, it seems harmless. Bathrooms are clean, staircases are tucked away. But in energy terms, these 2 places are what we call zones of falling energy. Bathrooms are designed to flush, drain, and release. That's their function. And when you place a plant associated with holding, storing, and building energy in a space built for letting go, you send a confusing message. It's like pouring water into a colander. The plant tries to absorb, tries to help, but the surrounding current keeps pulling it down. Over time, you may notice unexpected expenses, unstable savings, or deals that fall apart right at the finish line, not because you did something wrong, but because your energy was trying to grow in a place designed to release. The space under a staircase is just as tricky. It often holds stagnant air, low light, and compressed movement. Symbolically and energetically, it's a place that feels pressed down, and when you place a living plant, there especially one that represents upward, stable wealth, you compress its growth, both physically and energetically. The plant may survive, but it won't thrive. And you might feel the same, like you're doing everything you can, but something unseen keeps holding you down. Mistake number 2, placing the plant directly in line with your front door. This one catches many people off guard because it feels right. If the front door is where energy enters, shouldn't the plant be right there to catch it? In theory, yes. But in practice, the space directly in front of the door is like a high-speed energy highway. Chi rushes in and rushes out. It doesn't settle, it moves. And when you place your ZZ plant directly in that path, it's like putting a delicate object in front of a wind tunnel. Too much stimulation, too much pressure. Over time, the plant may droop, its leaves may dull, and the space may feel restless instead of grounded. Even your own energy may feel jumpy, like opportunities bounce off instead of coming in. It's not about blocking the door. It's about guiding the flow, and that means stepping slightly to the side. Let the energy enter freely, then land where you've prepared space for it. Mistake number 3, placing the ZZ plant near strong heat sources. This includes heaters, radiators, fireplaces, ovens, and even electronics that emit constant warmth like routers or laptops. In energy language, the ZZ plant represents wood, and heat, especially constant, direct heat, represents fire. In the natural cycle, fire weakens wood. Over time, this shows up as browning tips, dry leaves, or a plant that just stops growing. But more than that, it creates a subtle sense of unease in the space. Restlessness, impatience, decisions made too quickly, emotions flaring without clear cause. Because when the plant is energetically burned, the environment absorbs that tension. And so do you. None of these mistakes make you a bad plant owner. They don't mean you failed. In fact, most people who make these choices are doing so with good intentions. They want the plant to feel tucked away, or visible, or cozy. But energy doesn't speak through logic. It speaks through feeling. And if you've been feeling off financially, emotionally, mentally, it might not be about working harder. It might be about looking closer. The good news? Every one of these mistakes is fixable. You don't need to buy anything new. You don't need to redo your home. You just need to move the plant. A few feet, a few inches, a few degrees of awareness. That's all it takes to shift the energy from confused to clear. And when you do, you'll notice small things at first. A calmer tone in the room, a little more ease in the morning, a plant that suddenly looks brighter, a conversation that opens a door. That's the power of micro-alignment. You don't have to overhaul your life. Just support it quietly, intentionally, one choice at a time. So before we move into our final section, take a moment to walk through your space. Check the corners. Look beside the stairs, near the vents, by the door. Ask yourself, is this where growth feels supported or pressured, protected or drained? Because your ZZ plant can be your partner in prosperity, but only if you let it breathe. Only if you let it stand in a place that says, here, you are allowed to grow, and so am I. Up next, we'll explore something rarely talked about. Who benefits most from the ZZ plant energetically, personally, emotionally? Because as with everything in your home, not all support looks the same. Let's continue. Who should keep a ZZ plant close? The ZZ plant doesn't raise its voice. It doesn't bloom loudly. It doesn't beg for attention. And yet somehow it becomes one of the most grounding, quietly powerful presences in any room it lives in. But here's something most people overlook. Not everyone connects to the ZZ plant in the same way. Like people, plants have a rhythm, a character, a way of holding space. And when that rhythm matches your season of life, something beautiful happens. You don't just care for the plant, it begins to care for you. So who should keep a ZZ plant close? First, if you're building something slowly, this plant is for you. Maybe you're growing a business, rebuilding your finances, saving after a hard year, or starting over in some way. The ZZ plant doesn't rush. It doesn't explode into progress. It grows in quiet, consistent stretches, and it reflects that back into your life. People who live in a state of pressure often find that having a ZZ plant nearby helps them breathe differently, make steadier decisions, let go of urgency, because the plant's very nature says, slow is still movement. Stillness is not failure. Stay rooted. Second, if you tend to give your energy to everyone else first and leave yourself last, the ZZ plant can be a quiet teacher in boundaries. It's low maintenance, yes, but it still requires care. Not constant, but intentional. You water it only when the soil is dry. You don't flood it. You don't hover. And in that simple rhythm, it teaches something most caregivers forget. Restoration doesn't come from doing more. It comes from honoring timing, from knowing when to pause, from letting things rest before pushing again. The plant reminds you your needs matter too. Third, people who identify as creators, visionaries, or idea-driven souls often thrive near this plant. Why? Because the ZZ plant offers stability, not stimulation. Creatives tend to bounce between highs and lows, between bursts of brilliance and dips of doubt. Having a grounding presence, a plant that simply holds, that stands tall without demanding, is like having a quiet companion that says, I'm here. Keep going. You don't need to be flashy. You just need to keep growing. There's also a special alignment for those born in the year of the rat, according to Eastern energy traditions. Rat-born individuals tend to be resourceful, fast-thinking, ambitious, but often emotionally reactive or impulsive, especially with money. The ZZ plant offers a stabilizing presence. It helps slow down reactive decisions. It holds space for clarity. It becomes a subtle guide for making thoughtful choices, especially around finances. Place it on a desk, near a window, or beside a place where you often plan or reflect, can act like a silent financial advisor, reminding you to stay calm, stay consistent, and trust long-term vision over short-term gain. But beyond astrological signs or personality types, there's something even more universal. The ZZ plant supports those who are ready to shift from chaos to calm, from scattered thoughts to centered presence, from trying to force life into shape to letting things grow with grace. Many people say the same thing after a few weeks of living with this plant. I don't know why, but I just feel better when I sit near it. That's not imagination. That's resonance. The body knows when it's near something that nourishes instead of drains. You might notice your focus sharpening, or your breathing slowing, or your home just feeling better. That's not magic. That's alignment. And finally, if you've been feeling disconnected from your space, or from yourself, the ZZ plant can be a gentle invitation to re-enter both. Not with big declarations, not with perfect routines, just with presence. Watering the plant becomes a practice. Wiping its leaves becomes a pause. Watching new shoots emerge becomes a quiet reminder. Growth takes time, but it is happening. Because that's what the ZZ plant ultimately offers. A mirror. It reflects what we often forget to honor in ourselves: patience, endurance, quiet progress. It doesn't bloom overnight. It doesn't chase light. It simply grows where it's placed, when it's ready. And if you let it, it teaches you to do the same. So, should you keep a ZZ plant close? Only if you're ready to slow down, breathe deeper, build steadily, and grow something that lasts not just in your home, but in your life. And as we close this journey together, remember, the real power of the ZZ plant isn't just in where you place it. It's in how you relate to it. Whether you see it as decoration or as a quiet partner. Whether you ignore it or invite it to hold space with you. Because in the end, the ZZ plant is not about wealth alone. It's about becoming the kind of person wealth feels safe with. Steady, rooted, ready. And maybe that's what this plant has been waiting to show you all along. Final. So now take a breath. Not the kind you force, but the kind that arrives when something in you settles. Because what we've explored today wasn't just about a plant. It wasn't even just about placement, or energy, or money. It was about something deeper, the quiet power of attention, and how even the simplest things in your home can hold more meaning than you think. Your ZZ plant is more than decor. It's a living symbol of how you relate to growth, to space, to patience, and to yourself. When you placed it with intention, you told the world, I'm ready to root my wealth. I'm ready to invite opportunity. I'm done chasing. I'm building. You've learned where wealth feels safe to stay, your southeast corner. The place that holds, steadies, and supports. You've learned where opportunity walks in your front entrance, the left-hand side. The space where momentum begins, and the right people find their way in. And you've seen what happens when energy is misaligned, how a well-meaning mistake can quietly block the very abundance you've been waiting for. But most of all, you've remembered something many people forget, that small, intentional choices ripple into larger change. That beauty is not just in the object, but in the way we relate to it. That energy is not abstract, it's felt. Every day, in how we move, in how we think, in how we feel when we walk into our own home. If your ZZ plant could talk, it wouldn't speak in words. It would speak in presence, in stillness, in the soft strength of things that take time but never stop growing. So if you've stayed with me this far, thank you. Truly. I know your time is precious, and I honor the part of you that chose to listen, to reflect, and to consider a new way of seeing the space around you. Wherever you are, whatever season of life you're in, may your home be gentle with you. May your energy feel steady, and may what you plant inside your space and inside yourself grow with quiet strength and lasting grace. You're not late. You're not behind. You're just in a season that asks for more care, more attention, more trust. And maybe, just maybe, your ZZ plant has been waiting for you to see that all along. Until next time, be well, be kind to your space, and let abundance find you softly.